Welcome to Burn the Ship. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming very much. Anybody that's sets apart the time to spend with me, spend with the audience is very valuable to us. This is Burn the Ship, right? So we're talking to entrepreneurs, and our guests are always entrepreneurs that have experienced all the things that we experience in small business, right? We're connecting entrepreneurs or professionals that can help you go all in on your business.
Sure.
So I appreciate you coming again. Today we're going to learn a little bit about yourself. We're going to learn a little bit about your company. And hopefully we're going to be able to bottle up some of those skills and experiences that you have and teach them to the entrepreneurs that are listening. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, introduce your business. Thank you again.
Sure.
I'll say that up front. Thank you very much. But tell us who you are. Tell us what you do.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Robert Gittens. I run a company called BIMSync'd. We do what is called BIM consulting. Now, a lot of people don't know what BIM is. So BIM is building information modeling. Some people will substitute the M for management because it's about data management is really what it is. It's an old term in the building and construction industry, which I have been a part of for near 30 years, not in my own business that long, but, I have worked in the industry for that long. And that I guess, and I can get to that, but that's kind of part of building a business is know what you're going to do, learn what you're going to do. But I worked in the actual get your hands dirty industry for a while, and my get your hands dirty was more about pencil lead, getting my hands dirty. I didn't work in the field, but I did work with people in the field. Then I moved to a company called Trimble. At the time, it was called Tekla. It was a Finnish company. It was a software company, and they create it's a CAD. It's a 3D CAD.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, CAD's not really the correct term, but anyway, it's a 3D CAD BIM software, and I worked there for 13 years. Along about year 11, so this gets into me starting my business, I started realizing that I wasn't going anywhere. There wasn't really any place to go necessarily at the company. There were some places, but not really anything that I felt like fit me.
Sure.
So then I started about 2 years before I left, really looking into what I would want to do, outside of the company. And there are other software companies that are equivalent that I could have, gone and worked for. But what I decided to do was, step out on my own. So I spent a full year while I was working at Trimble just on my own time planning what I would do, how would I make this happen? And that is a big part of what you do want to do when you're creating a company is make sure that plan is laid out. You're not going to know everything.
Yeah.
But, make sure that plan is laid out, that what is it you want to do. And what my company does, the consulting part, when I was at Trimble, I did a little bit of training on their software, on the different software that they have. So I offer that because that's in my pocket. But then I have helped, because through the years I've worked on several different pieces of software. I've helped other people with other types of software. There's Autodesk products, and there's a company called Nemetschek that has different. So not to leave anyone out, and there's more than that. But if you've heard of AutoCAD, you know basically what I'm talking about with Autodesk and Revit. But so I've done a little bit of consulting on that, helping them work things out, because I've got enough time in the industry that they can ask a question, and I can help them figure out how to do the software.
Sure.
Then I also kind of help people consult if they're having a trouble with a piece of BIM, of their BIM program. How do we make this fit? How do we make this work? I guess, well, one of the other parts is I actually do some of the old, drawing stuff that I from way back and offer that as a decent revenue stream. And that is a key factor. You want to make sure that you have a, not quite guaranteed, but a pretty definite revenue stream that that there are plenty of jobs out there that you can get a hold of. You don't want to just rely on one aspect.
Sure.
And that does allow me, through contacts that I've made before and contacts that I've made since, when they have extra work, they'll say, hey, I got a job here for you. Do you want to do it? Yeah, sure. And I jump on it. One of my weak points, as I've found out recently, is accounting. But I do the best I can. But there are software pieces that help you with that. You know, that
for
help
sure.
you figure that
And rest
out.
assured, nobody's really that good at it.
Yeah, right.
Even accountants, like even it frustrates accountants.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So nobody's
Yes.
that good at it. I literally say that to every like probably 5% of the business we get is new business.
Right.
Right. It's pretty much like they already are doing a little business, and we're either chiming in early or late in the game. But every now and then we catch somebody that knows us right as they start a business, and they're like, I don't know what to do about accounting. I'm like, accountants don't even enjoy it.
No,
You know, there are accountants that are bad at accounting. Okay,
That's
give yourself a break.
Yeah, that's what I found out. So I've also the board chair for at Georgia Highlands College for a BIM management degree that I helped create. So while I was also at Trimble, I helped them create that degree, and we just had our 3 first graduates, our inaugural graduates, yesterday. So that was a pretty neat little to see all that
That's
work
pretty cool.
come to
For sure.
fruition. But I'm also enrolled in the program. So this is one of those things where this degree, this is the perfect degree for me, didn't exist when I was in school years ago. So I created it, and well, why not take it? But the accounting piece, I just finished accounting too, and I see some values in it.
Yeah.
But some of it, I'm going, I don't understand why that goes in that category and that goes in that category. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I did it in college.
Yeah. And that's what you're saying about the accountants. They're like, I don't either, but
I
it
did
goes there.
Yeah, I did it in college. I went to UGA, and there were 300 people in my accounting 2 class, and it's a curve, right?
Yeah.
So like, depending on how well you do in comparison to everyone else in the class, kind of determines your grade. So
Right.
a certain percentage make an A, a certain percentage make
Sure.
a B, whatever. Nobody was really that good at accounting.
No.
It's complicated, and there's a reason that, like, I have 2 friends in Birmingham that were accountants that saved up like, I don't know, $300,000 and built this like accounting software that automates business tax returns.
Yep.
Right, integrations with your bank account, all those things, blah blah blah. They built the software because accounting is really hard.
Yeah.
Right. And doing it well is really, really hard. There's a reason that like large companies have 10, 12, 15 accountants, right? And there's going to be software solutions for that forever that are going to continue to get better. The rules are going to change, and then the software is going to get better, and the rules are going to change, and the software is going to get better. And that's just kind of the that's kind of the lifespan of things. But in your business, right? Like, so the kind of the lineage of the sale of my business is, usually we go out and about and find some entrepreneur. We explain what we do and the opportunity cost to those people. You know, we can save you X dollars, or we can make your life X easier, or we can give you X device that makes it that much easier to do, whatever it is, right? Explain to me the you know, kind of that series of events in your business, right? Is it creating connections with entrepreneurs in the building industry that have needs for you? Is your industry so unique that there are only so many options in that space? Are you working kind of as a consultant? Or are you working more as like added workforce in a pinch when people need it? Just kind of explain to me how the flow works.
So that makes more sense. So consultant most of the time, because most of the time it's either training or
trying to figure out
building
the
a
way to
tool
make
for them or
oil this
something.
whole machine.
Right, yeah. Figuring out, they've got a little sticking point. I help them with that sticking point.
Sure.
I do have some clients that, are repeat clients. I've got one in Nashville. He'll just call me up and say, hey, we need help with so-and-so. And I jump on it, The detailing, which is it's a more accurate term for what drafters do, because drafting
doesn't really
not
exist
really
anymore.
It's something that everybody in the industry does now. It's not an actual
drafting
real
exists
job.
like in middle school.
Yeah, it
or
does.
Like in ninth grade.
Exactly. And my first education was at North Georgia Tech in Clarksville, and it was drafting. That was how I graduated, and it was wonderful. I mean, I learned from a NASA engineer, which was if you've ever had a hard class, learn from somebody that knows how to make drawings.
Down.
Yeah. But getting clients, is so that detailing part is more about when a company does get in a pinch. So one of my clients that I have now, I helped them with training and fitting something in, and it's turned into, hey, if we have extra work, can we kick it your way? So that works that way. But the main thing, you know, when I first started BIMSync'd was that you want to, I mean, I made a bunch of phone calls, you know, for the first 3 months. That's all I was doing was calling people. I actually had a part-time job while I was doing that because I wasn't making any money for the first 3 months. I was just making phone calls.
You got to fill the top of the funnel somehow.
And I made a deal with myself. I said, when you get your third decent contract, and I'm decent 1,000 or more, you know, I mean, everybody's number is different, but but I work out of my house, so my overhead is very low. Then I'm going to quit the part-time job and I'll just do this. So I hit that at about 3 months and started that job.
What are those people building? Right, the people that need you. Are they building like Wackovias, or are they building stadiums?
They really, it spans the whole area. I mean, there are a lot of companies. The one in Nashville, it's called Charter Construction. They're a very good company. I worked with them at Trimble and carried them over. They're a very good company, so I want to give them a shout out. They're a good company. But they do major projects. So if anybody's familiar with Nashville, the Ryman Auditorium, there's a development across the street from that. They were involved in that. So they were doing a lot of the work on that. Now, they'll also do smaller jobs. So any company like that.
I can imagine Nashville's like a hotbed.
Yeah. You'll take a 2-story building and you'll also
and
then you'll take a multi-story at the same time, because you have to keep the money coming in. You know, in the bidding process on that side, you bid, you know, 15 jobs and you might get one. You know, you have to just bid.
And those are probably 9-month jobs.
I'm looking, and I haven't done this, I'm looking into, and this is growth part, looking into trying to get into the residential, like single family area. There's not a lot of BIM in that, and I want to encourage that because BIM also includes that as-built condition, so that when you want to hang a picture or you want to put a hole in the wall, you know where the wires are. That's the point to it. You have a 3D model of what is there. And that's what people are doing, and that's why they're scanning. They're Piedmont, Cartersville. They made an addition there, and I got to go inside. It was pretty cool. But they scan every day, you know, and they're continuing to add that stuff to the model. What's changed today? What do we do today? Because that project management is critical. So it's much like the accounting part. You have to account for everything in the building, and But most of the companies throughout the world, but throughout the country, they're doing smaller jobs. I mean, they might do a building the size that we're in, you know, a 2-story multi-unit, but a lot of them, some of these companies are gigantic. There are companies that you probably don't know the name of that have built everything that you see in some city, you know. So,
reminds me of my industry.
Yeah, but. You know, just it does run the whole span of building types, but my expertise was at Trimble was working with all of these companies, the small companies and the large companies. We you know, 2-person operations to, you know, 150 people in one office.
How many companies are there like Trimble? I would imagine it's very few.
Especially
at that time.
Yeah, if you want to talk top tier BIM software companies, there's probably about 4 or 5 top tier. So there are a lot of smaller ones, but
a lot coming across the desk.
Yes, and you know, the Autodesk is Trimble is an American company, but the software that I worked on came from Finland. So there's another company, Nemetschek, I think they're out of, I want to say the Netherlands, but I don't know whether that's right or not. So they're working over here too, but then they own a couple of companies under their umbrella that are American companies. So, you know, it's a very big market, and you know, that's how business is doing right now. Big companies are kind of
software. Yeah. We talked a little bit about obstacles. You know, what's kind of been hard stepping into that entrepreneur. What's kind of been your superpower that makes this whole wheel keep turning?
I think it's my ability to be able to accept the word no, and you've got to have thick skin when you. I make it a point. This is just a funny anecdote, but I guess it's funny. I don't know whether it is or not. You can laugh at me if you want to. in the morning, you know, I get up and get ready for work. I don't sit around. I don't work in my pajamas. I get up and put clothes on, and even though I'm
It's the
just
only way to do
downstairs,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
And my shoes are my punch in and punch out. I put my shoes on. I'm at work, and when I'm done, I take my shoes off, and I've punched out for the night. It's so when I put those shoes on, I put the armor up. Where if somebody says, "No, I don't think we'll use your services," okay, well, thank you, but keep me in mind, and you hang up the phone. That's what you do, you know, and when you take the shoes off, then you can deal with the
Right.
the injury that you think that you just received, but it's not really an injury.
It's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not. And as you progress in the sales world, like I've gotten some big no's this year. Like I've gotten the biggest no's I've ever got in my career this year, right? Which is awesome. And I'll tell you why is because like you obviously know you're swimming around the right fish if you're getting big no's,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's that much closer to a really big yes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And a lot of times the no, like one of the things that becomes so ingrained in your mind as a salesperson so naturally is that no is not your fault.
Right.
Right. It can be opportunity. It can be your fault. Trust me. I've screwed the pooch myself a couple
Yes,
of times. That's a fact. But a lot of times it's not your fault, especially if you know your product and you talk about your product with conviction. It's not always your fault whenever you get a no, right? So it can be timing. It can be all the things in the world, right? It can be like I've gotten a no this year just because the decision maker was not really the business owner. The business owner was pretty absentee, and and he deserves to be, right? And the decision maker, it wasn't the dollars going back into that person's pocket to make all these changes, right? So like it's not always your fault, but it's always puts you that much closer to a big yes.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it that armor that you talk about, you develop it so truthfully, like so honest. You earn it.
Yeah,
There's no other way to do that. I think that's what's the most gratifying thing about sales is that you have to earn it. There is no other way than to earn it. And if you don't earn it, you'll quit.
Yep.
You'll
you
go
will.
sell something else that's easier. You'll go find somewhere that feeds you inbound leads, and then you'll quit there too because they're not that good. You know,
Right.
like. But if you really respect the art of sales and learn it and trust your process, this whole thing that we've been talking about for 300 and something episodes gets a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Right. It really does. Right. Like. Dude, I could go start a company right now and you pick the industry. And as long as I know a decent amount about it, I bet I can go sell enough for us to figure it out. Now, I may not be
Probably
able to
so.
render the service. I can probably sell a little bit, at least enough to feed us a little, you know? So it's such a valuable skill. And I wanted to touch on something else that you said earlier, like kind of waited till we got here, but making phone calls at the beginning of your business. There's no substitute.
No.
There's literally no substitute for making cold calls at the beginning, because I'll tell you like a little bit of my story to chime in on that. I left college, right? Had crazy injury to my left leg playing basketball, playing sports, right? When I first started this, I literally like knee braced myself under my slacks and went and walked around and cold called face to face in Rome, Cartersville, everywhere that was close to us, right? And 6 months in, I think I had like the I quit look on my face. And Jay, the owner of my company, brought me in there and was like, let me teach you how to network, right? I'm going to bring you this thing called BNI. I'm going to bring you to a business association, chamber of commerce, and all these people are going to be super excited to talk to you. It's going to be so different than what you've been doing. I was like, okay, whatever, give it a try. Changed my life.
Yeah.
But I had to go ask all those questions that I didn't know the answer to people that really didn't know me, to earn my armor and to learn things about my industry that I wouldn't know unless somebody asked me.
Yep,
Right.
that's
So
true.
like it's there's literally no replacement for putting yourself in that sales scenario and being able to, preparing yourself to be able to close the deal that's going to change your life. Like I can't beat that in anybody's head enough. It sucks. Nobody wants to make cold calls for 5 hours.
No.
Sucks.
No.
Do it. Make you so much better at what you do. It makes it so much easier.
It's the
Like,
1 in 10 principle. You call 10
Yeah,
people,
that's right.
you get one yes. And even with no's, when you start developing that armor that we're talking about, you realize that no probably just means not right now.
Yeah.
And you call them again next year.
Yeah. And you and a fast no. A fast no is an art too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like being very direct and telling people it's okay if it's no.
Yeah.
because this is one more of those 9 that I got to call to get to the yes.
Yep.
All right, like it's okay if it's no. I'm not going anywhere. I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I'm probably the credit card processor that you'll know for the longest in my industry. My industry turns a lot of people over. It gets really hard.
It does. Yeah.
We've been around for a long time. Like I've been doing it a long time. I have no reason to leave my industry. Like
Right.
I'll probably be the only guy that you know that's done payments for 25 years, right? Like that. That's going to be the only. I'm going to be the only person.
Everyone
you know
else
in
is
that space.
Why would you keep doing that?
And I literally attribute it not to anything. Like I'm good at a lot of stuff, and I'm a pretty bright guy, right? I attribute it to this guy making me go knock on doors for 6 months. If I didn't go knock on doors every day for 6 months, like, and dread getting out of my car to go see the same 20 people I've already seen because I got to follow up with them, and then boom, 2 of them sign up, and you're like, the highest high.
It is amazing.
It is insane
how that 1 or 2 just changes everything. That all the beat downs that you got, they're gone.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's really, I would say like this, do it until you don't tell yourself no until you walk in the door, right? Because you start off like, there's no way these people are going to say no. These people aren't going to say, these people are going to say no. Like, why would they say yes?
You defeat yourself.
You give yourself objections before you walk in the door.
Right.
And then one day you're like, I think I got these people.
Yeah.
You hadn't even walked in yet. You see the owner walking through the door, and you see.
I can tell by the way he's walking. He needs me.
The college that you went to is hanging on a sign in their shop, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is me right here. This is like when you develop that sense, man, business gets so much easier. I tell people that all the time. Like, you are your salesperson. You are the top of the funnel. And if you're not the top of the funnel, nobody's going to be top of the funnel.
Yeah, no.
And if nobody's top of the funnel, you're going to be poor.
Yeah.
It's just hard to do.
Why have a funnel?
There's just, there's no replacement for it. So tell me this, if people want to get in touch with you, if they want to buy something from you, need some consulting, how do they find you?
Yep, I've got a website. That's the easiest way. I mean, because all the contact information's on there, and there's a contact form. It's BIMSync'd.com. So it's BIMSYNCD. So synchronized, but abbreviated, .com. So BIMSync'd.com. You can also email me at rgbim@bimsync.com. Both of those ways will get in touch with me. There is you can even book a phone call from my website if you need to. So if you want to talk and whether or not I can help you, you can do that. Or if you need my services, you can just book an hour. Know, and the prices are on there because I'm not one of those people that hides my prices. I'm like, there's no reason to do that.
Surely not. And who are you looking to get connected with? Right, like what kind of clients are there locally or nationally that maybe myself or my network that could connect you to be very valuable?
So most of the time, a lot of my clients right now are the what you call fabricators, the ones that are building the parts to take out to the job site. I have had a couple of GCs, general contractors, as clients, and those. So it's kind of any of those folks that might need help with BIM, and the thing with BIM is it's a really big topic, and I've helped architectural firms are a bit more difficult because they're at the beginning of the project, and a lot of times they're kind of controlling things the way they want to control things. They're one of the really last groups that's kind of starting to grab hold of BIM.
Yeah.
The fabricators, the construction crews, and the general contractors, they've been doing it for years. The industrial market, they've been doing it for a long time, and it just transferring that data back and forth. So, like the BIM degree that we have, if anyone is interested, you can go to GHC and check it out. But it's got a very wide range of classes. So I mentioned, we were talking earlier about that I've taken accounting, and I just finished accounting too. I'm a C student, so don't hire me for accounting. But it's built to understand enough about all of these aspects, because the BIM manager is going to need to know what accounting needs from this other department.
Right.
So that said, my consulting business is I can help you with your BIM needs, whatever they are, because I've been doing this for a long time now, and I've got a lot of experience with it, and worked for one of the largest BIM companies in the world. So, it's a anything from training to, do on software. Even if I haven't used the software, I can help you figure that out. It's I've done enough software in my life. It's always just kind of come easy for me to just figure out how it's all, because I know what they can all do it. Just where's the button? That's the point.
And word to the wise, don't go to your right hand man and say, figure this out.
No, you don't want to do that. But
it's gonna not happen, and then everybody's gonna be upset.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, really, anybody that is involved with BIM or looking to get into BIM in the construction industry, I'm your man. Come to me.
Sure.
We'll make it happen.
Well, I appreciate you coming again. It does mean a lot. Kind of the way that we always in the podcast here is just talking about kind of your entrepreneurial journey in general, right?
Yep.
I think everybody has this light switch moment, right, where it's like, oh, you're an entrepreneur now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's when you got your logo made, or maybe it's when you graduated college, or you got your first client, or you made your first dollar and you hung it up on a painting like Mr. Krabs.
Right.
Like, you never know what it is that really puts that hat on people, where they kind of accept, like, oh, I really need to figure this out because this is what I want to do, and it's very gratifying to me.
Yep.
So in your words, what is that gratification like from being a small business owner, and why should the people that are watching, that are kicking around that same idea, seek that out?
For me, that's a good question. For me, that gratification keeps coming. I mean, I get it. When I get a client that I didn't, like we were talking about earlier, that I didn't think I would get, but I went in, with the same attitude, I'm going to get this, and then I get it. It goes, oh, okay, so I can do this. It's just a constant that, okay, I'm still doing it right, I'm still getting it. When business is slow, you have to push yourself and keep going. But both the hard times and the good times are what really show that you're an entrepreneur. I mean, you have to be able to make it through both. And when you are able to struggle through something and you come out the other side, or even it's not a struggle, but still you win a bid or win something, that winning it to me is what keeps me going. Okay, I got a yard on this one, I may get 5 yards on the next one, but a couple of inches on the last one, but
yeah,
I'm moving forward, and that's a good thing. If I fell back, whatever, we'll regroup and we'll figure it out. All of that together, really, the incremental thing is rewarding to me, and I think that it's going to be different for everybody else. Everyone's going to have their own little thing, but you do need to find it. You need to try and figure out what that thing is, and sometimes it finds you. It just shows up, and you're okay. Now I know how to do this. But it's I don't know, the individual rewards then collect for me when I accomplish something. If I've just written a good blog post and I'm proud of it, that kind of thing really gives me, encouragement. The BIM degree that I helped create, seeing those graduates yesterday was like, oh yeah, I'm accomplishing things in life, but then helping other people. I mean, that's been my father. He retired from it, but he was a minister of music, and so he had at church I grew up at. But he always had a giving attitude, and he was in sales for years, so he did sales and the other. So that being willing to help somebody is really the key in my business anyway, of when I have helped someone, when I see that I've helped them, and whether they say thanks or not, that's fine. But if I feel like I have helped them and they've moved on, then I feel like I've done my job, and
absolutely,
and I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's being an entrepreneur unlocks a lot of things for you, right? The ability to impact other people is one of the best ones. And through that degree, being able to see that firsthand is a unique experience, right? Yeah. So I guess the thing to leave you with is just don't limit yourself.
Yep.
You're capable of whatever you set your mind to. It may be difficult, and you may slide back a couple of feet or a couple of yards at a time. You may start from scratch. You never know. But if you quit, you won't be successful. So keep pushing. Burn the ship.